Welcome to the Orange Flag Podcast. We won all the titles. The beer means we were part of it. I'm Austin.
I'm Aries.
I'm Nicole, and obviously we were at Petite this weekend, or this past weekend. Gonna do a rundown on that. I will preface all of this by saying we had a lot more experiences than we're going to talk about. Just a lot of them were things that we do not feel comfortable talking about on a podcast. So just if the stories sound a little disjointed or it feels like something's missing, it's because things are missing. It's because we had conversations and talked to people about stuff that we do not want to put on air. But we will start with Wednesday. We actually are trying to do this nice and chronologically this time, which we didn't do quite so well for Coda.
We tried, but it was just so hard last time with Coda to remember.
We made notes in as it was going on this time, day by day. So Wednesday, which there's not any track action on Wednesday. I was just kind of wandering around and stumbled upon an AO Racing autograph session. If you follow me on social media, you saw this story. It is exactly as I told it on social media. I stumbled upon the AO autograph session. I had on full Kevin Estre gear. I had on the shirt with because it was for my drive. Don't you want to channel the best driver in the world when you're driving? I do. So I had on the helmets t-shirt with the grid of his helmets that he's used, and then the PPM hat. And Lauren Heinrich immediately clocked me on that. It's Kevin's not even here. Why are you wearing all of his gear? I was like, Lauren, we had this conversation a couple weeks ago. You know why I have on Kevin's gear. And he did in fact know I had on Kevin's gear. But the cool part of that conversation actually was that Lauren was like, I really like that shirt. I wish I could make one, but I haven't done enough helmets. So, Lauren, you should do some more helmets. You're probably going to be able to do a different helmet next year. I suggest you do the helmet you ran for this race, for Petite, that black and white helmet, but maybe put some red on. Is that completely a knockoff of Kevin's WEC helmet from last year?
I was gonna say.
But it would look great as a PPM helmet, and it is, in fact, still Lauren's design, and I assume Kevin is not going to run that helmet next year. So, I think that's what Lauren should do. That way he'll have a new helmet, and I think he should do a special helmet for Macau. That way, he's slowly building up all these helmets.
Yeah. It's not like he hasn't done multiple helmets. He does have
he does
different
special
helmets.
So it works. And then Klaus Backler was intrigued by my hat. He was like, how do you have that? Where did you get that? And I was like, well, Kevin gave it to me because I had been bugging him all year about how I want one. And then Lauren was like, oh yeah, they had a ton of them. I don't know why they don't give them out more. I don't know, Lauren. It's not. And then I won't say that Klaus seemed a little miffed that me and Lauren were talking about PPM so much, but Klaus, I'm sorry, you haven't been linked to PPM. I had no PPM conversation to have with you. Sorry. But I did get them to sign a Roxy, which is in my car, so I don't have it, because I neglected to purchase one at Detroit to get it signed. So that was great. And because I stumbled upon this autograph session while I was going to try and find food, I didn't have anything with me to get signed. I didn't have any marker with me. I didn't think anybody was going to be at the track. So luckily there was a guy with a Sharpie, so I could get this thing signed. But that was great. And that was all of my stories from... No, that's not all the stories from Wednesday, because we went to Chili's on Wednesday.
We did go to Chili's on Wednesday.
Kevin did not come to Chili's with us because Kevin was not there.
Exactly.
However, Kevin was there in spirit because I brought my hat.
Yes.
Also, Kevin, I have presents for you next time I see you. They are Chili's stickers that I found that I got in St. Pete this year. I mean, like, they're kind of ridiculous. Chili's. And here's a burger, a molten lava cake.
Hey.
But these are the important ones. This
Yes.
Chili's logo and the Presidente Margarita. So, yes, don't know when the next time I'm going to see Kevin race is. Hopefully Daytona, but next time I see Kevin race, he's getting a Chili's sticker pack. And then, as we do at Chili's, we pondered Kevin, which led to... Do we not always ponder Kevin when we're at Chili's?
Maybe you do.
You're the one that brought this whole next conversation up. You were pondering Kevin. Oh, yes.
Yes. Well, we got into conversation about Manti and the 92 and who we wanted in the car. And we started with the fact that we believe the lineup should be Ryan Hardwick and the Estras, meaning Dylan and Kevin. It was really just getting
On
Dylan.
On paper, it works.
On paper, it works. It was really just to get Dylan into sports
silver.
cars.
So...
yeah. We were thinking of they needed a silver. Who was a silver? Dylan's a silver. It works.
Yeah, this started by putting Kevin as Ryan's pro in the Manti number 92 for next year because, you know, we're still trying to figure out where everybody's going to be next year. And yes. I don't know, maybe Kevin really still wants to do WEC. I'm not sure, but that would be an option. So, yes, we did come up with that idea. And by we, I completely mean Oz, because I had no part other than saying Kevin would be a logical pro to put in the 92.
I can't help that Dylan is my favorite Estra. All I'm going to say is, Kevin, he did do better than you this weekend. I mean, you didn't
Kevin
race
didn't
this weekend,
race, so he didn't do better than Kevin. He just raced. Like, but he didn't do better than Kevin. That's like saying that, you know, I don't know, I did better at my 5K I ran this morning than you did because you didn't run a 5K.
Yeah, no thank you.
So, yeah, Dylan did not do better than Kevin, but Dylan did do very well this weekend.
Yes, he did very, very well. 2 P2s and a P1.
Absolutely need to give Dylan props for that.
Yes.
But he didn't necessarily do better than Kevin.
Yeah, but you know I had to find a way to just make fun of Kevin. So, yeah. I will say, most recent Kevin result and most recent Dylan result, Dylan still wins.
Yes, that is true.
So.
But then we started, like, actually thinking about this seriously, like, if we were somehow going to put Dylan in, you know, a full-on Porsche WEC car. I don't know that Dylan's ever driven sports cars. Yeah. I don't think Dylan has ever driven sports cars. So, why not put him in the car Antares Au has for Asian Le Mans Series? So he will have driven a GT3R prior to the Qatar prologue. Because I think Antares is in need of a silver, isn't he?
Yeah, his silver kind of got upgraded, so he needs a silver. Yeah, Loki's now gold.
Dylan also happens to know a really good Porsche coach who I feel like could assist him in this quest.
Possibly.
Do we think Kevin's gonna refuse to help Dylan?
No, I don't think so.
I will say, like, I don't have any brothers, so I can't speak to it. But I feel like learning how to do something from your brother might not be the, like, optimal situation. No. So, like, maybe Kevin can just find a different person to help Dylan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, your brother being your coach is probably, like, the last option I would want. But
Okay,
you know
but Kevin Estra being your coach is probably
exactly.
the best option you
So
would
I feel
want.
like they cancel each other out, like, it pushes it more towards why you should have Kevin as your coach.
Yes. And for those of you wondering, yes, despite Kevin not being there, I did manage to talk about him all weekend, too.
She did.
We will get to some of the talking about Kevin stuff later, because it wasn't just me talking to people about Kevin. For some reason, people have decided to talk to me about Kevin.
Yes.
So that's super fun. Onward to Thursday.
Thursday.
We got snacks from PPM.
Yes, we
That was
did.
awesome. We like snacks. We got Sprite, so we are officially PPM Team Sprite people.
We are
We
with
asked
Nick
for Sprite.
Tandy.
It is not like they just handed us Sprite unsolicited. We did, in fact, when we were asked which soda we would like, say that we would like Sprite.
It just felt wrong to say anything else but Sprite.
I did actually ask if they had sparkling water, because I did actually want some sparkling water, but they did not have any.
Oh, I went straight for Sprite.
You did
I
go
had to
straight for
commit to the
Sprite.
bit.
Of course you would.
And then we have been chatting with the tower admins about meeting the hot dog that they have on their car. And we went over to the garage and got a little tour of the garage, which was really awesome. That's what, my 4th garage I've been in this year. Really, really cool. They showed us around, they showed us the car, let us take pictures of the car, not the steering wheel, because that's just kind of, I guess, a rule, except for PPM at Detroit, where they, let you take pictures of the steering wheel. But, when we were in there, the hot dog wasn't.
Yeah. It did mean we got, like, a very intense garage tour, because it was just the entire team, like, when I mean the entire team, I mean, like, literally everyone who was in the garage when we were there, looking for the hot dog, opening, like, every drawer looking for it. So we got to see what's in, like, every drawer of the tower garage, basically. And yeah, no hot dog in sight. I did make the joke that if you watched last episode or listened to last episode, you know that we brought stuffed animals and we had a hot dog that we gave to Tower. They got it. They really liked it. And I made the joke that only one hot dog was allowed in the tower garage because we couldn't find the other one.
Yes. What else did we do on Thursday? I feel like Thursday we just kind of vibed around the paddock and, like,
Yes.
chatted with people. And Thursday's when we talked to Larry about podcasting.
Was.
So ran into Lawrence Van Tor, and I've been saying all year I want to have, like, a conversation with him about podcasting. And every time that I've run into him, I've forgotten to have a conversation with him about podcasting. So he was, like, walking somewhere, who knows, but he was walking, and I was like, hey, Lawrence, I want to talk to you about podcasting. We do a sports car podcast, and, like, on your last episode, you were talking about how there weren't a lot of sports car podcasts and how, like, it's a really niche thing, and just kind of got chatting with him about doing a podcast, which was really cool, because I think when we started this podcast, Over the Limit and Off Track are kind of the two that we said, like, those are racing podcasts that we really like, you know? And obviously Drees and Larry are huge names in sports cars, so they are going to get a lot more listeners than us. But we're talking to Larry about that, and he was like, I actually don't know, but I think that we've gotten, like, in the tens of thousands on some episodes. Like, I remember that being the high number. So, yeah, we're not anywhere near there, Like,
no.
Our best episode hasn't even cracked 100, but we are also not Dries and Lawrence Vantor, so...
What do you mean we are?
People, in fact, might just listen to them because they're them.
Yes.
And not because they want to listen to a sports car podcast. But it was cool to finally get a chance to talk to Larry about being podcasters, which he, in fact, does 100% know that we are podcasters, and I will get into that later on the Saturday segment.
Yes. I don't like that he does. Some other things that happened on Thursday was Zach Robichon. I asked to get a selfie with him, and he was like, didn't we do this at Austin? So, I now have a driver who recognizes me. Yeah, that happened. And then we also were watching the Rexy guys do, like, driver change practice. And that was the first time we saw Michael's helmet for the weekend, because we were like, wonder what helmet Michael's going to be using. And then we were looking at his helmet, and we were like, why did Michael pick that one? Also, when is this one from? And we're like looking up photos because we were like, we think it's from this year.
What I immediately did was said, I'm pretty sure that's Le Mans 2023. Yeah. Googled Michael Christensen Le Mans 2023, and it was 100% that helmet.
Yeah. Like, we had a general idea, but we were, like, not 100% certain, so looked it up. And then we asked Michael about it, and he seemed very surprised that we were correct in knowing it. So
he came out of the garage and was, don't know where he was walking. The same general direction Larry was walking to, because that's where everybody walks. And I was like, Michael, why the Le Mans helmet? And his response was, well, I thought it was going to match the car the best, but then they did this other livery, so I don't know.
I feel like it still worked pretty well because of like, overwhelming amount of white and black on it with just, like, the wing part being colored. I feel like it still worked actually really well.
No, it definitely still worked. Obviously, Lauren's helmet worked the best.
Yes.
Klaus used his normal full-season Rexy helmet. But, like, I think that Michael's worked second best in the car, honestly.
Definitely.
Also, like, you've done Le Mans in a hypercar. Why not wear one of those helmets when you're just filling in as a random, GT driver?
Oh, 100%. But it was definitely one of those where I was like, I wonder what one he's going to use. And that wasn't, like, the first one I expected it to be.
I actually thought that he was probably going to do a special helmet or wear, like, his helmet that he used last year.
Yeah.
But he did neither. And then on to Friday. Friday was the autograph session, so we have a whole bunch of autograph session stories. Starting with the fact that Matt Campbell, Mathieu Jaminet, and Lawrence Vantor all asked me why I'm not going to Bahrain. Guys, Bahrain's really far away. I understand I've been to a lot of races this year. I fully understand that. I am not really all that capable of going to Bahrain. And, like, if I was going to do an international race, I don't know that Bahrain is top on my list. Now, I've considered it. Like, I have considered going to Bahrain because it is the final race for the PPM team, for the 963, for all of that. Like, but they're staying in IMSA. So, like, and all the money I would have spent to go to Bahrain, I can in fact actually just spend going to all 8 IMSA rounds next year. It would probably end up being about the same amount.
Makes sense.
Oh no, dude. If I was to travel for a race, I think we all know which one it would be. Bathurst. Everyone act shocked, everyone act surprised. You shouldn't be. My thing for the autograph session, I had my jacket, brought my jacket, got my jacket signed. It's probably the best, like, signatures that I've gotten from the guys for this. But as I was getting it signed, we were talking about it, and I was, like, talking with Jam about how exceptionally hard his helmet is compared to Matt's helmet. which Jam then took as a opportunity to roast Matt's helmet about how his is just way better. So Cam Jam do just like roasting each other, which I expect nothing less from the two of them. Also, Jam got the Nutella and the zebra plushie that we talked about from last episode, and it was like a kid in a candy store with them, so that was funny. They did also make like PPM's stories too, which was cool. And then obviously we had our shirts, our Cam Jam and Juju shirt that we got signed. We can now add to our list of drivers confused of signing the shirts with, I think Julian might be at the top of the list.
I think that Matt still needs a lot of help getting a shirt signed. I don't know that anything is as bad as Larry at Coda. It took two of us, me and Kevin, holding the shirt so that Larry could sign it.
Yeah.
And like, I think it has to do with being left-handed. Because Seb Bourdais had trouble as well.
Aries feels targeted.
But yeah, Julian just was like confused where to sign and then signed like sideways. Like,
yeah.
Julian, the shirt goes this way. Why you signing it sideways, buddy? Like, that's his signature. It that's his signature. Why is it sideways on the shirt? It's silly. Actually, I think it goes this way.
Mine's not quite sideways, but it's definitely at like an angle.
He also asked where he should sign it, and I'm like, I don't know, wherever you want. No one's ever asked me where to sign the shirt before, Julian.
Yeah. I feel like at this rate, Jam has it down. Matt still needs you to hold the shirt for assistance. And then Julian was just confused about everything of the three of them.
To be fair to Julian, it is his first time encountering our shirts. So I kind of give him a pass. But this is the third shirt that I've gotten Matt Campbell to sign. He should be capable of... That's a lie. This is the fourth shirt I've gotten Matt Campbell to sign. He should be capable of signing a shirt. Because he did the Cam Jam and Kevin, the Cam Jam no Kevin, the Estor and Matt, and now the Cam Jam and Juju. That is 4 shirts, Matt.
I will say, I think it's a shirt thing for some reason. Because for the jacket, I didn't have to hold it.
Yeah, it must be a shirt thing.
So it's a shirt thing.
And then, since we're talking about autographs, because I don't actually totally remember when it happened, sometime over the weekend, because it's all a blur, I got Tandy to sign the Tandy poster.
Yes!
And Nasser. I also got Nasser to sign the Tandy poster, but... Yeah. Nick's autograph, honestly, like, almost doesn't look like his autograph, because he spent so much effort on it. So, like, if you compare that to this, like, let's see if I can... There we go. Like, they're almost 2 separate things, but, like, I know this is Nick Tandy. But then, that's Larry, where Nasser also signed it. So, now I just need to find Nico Hulkenberg this weekend, and then, I don't know, quest around the world to find Patrick Pilet.
Yes.
Luckily, Patrick Pilet drives in cars with Kevin a lot, so maybe I will find him on, I don't know, one of the times I go see Kevin drive if I go international to watch Kevin race.
Yes. Which also, speaking of Nick Tandy got, like, presents from me and Morgan, who was with us, and Morgan made keychains again, and then I made bracelets, and we gave them to him, like, at the same time, and somebody who was with him was like, "You're the Taylor Swift of the IMSA paddock." So, Nick Tandy is now Taylor Swift. Yeah, that was too great of a sentence when that was said that I was like, that's going in the notes right now. Like, it was just so good.
It feels like not a lot of people do GIFs or do personalized stuff. Like, people just want to get posters signed or go pick up autograph cards or like take a selfie with the whole row of the table. Like, and it seems like the guys appreciate it. Like, I'll say that because it's gotten so big in IndyCar, it does not seem like at the moment, if you give an IndyCar driver a friendship bracelet, they do anything other than say, oh, thanks, and put it on the little table beside them. Like, they've almost become oversaturated. I don't have a huge fear. Actually, to that point, I know a lot of people had fears of the potential, like, overbearing amount of Formula One fans that were going to be at this race, and they just weren't there.
Yeah.
Like, people thought that Logan Sargent was going to bring in so many fans to this race that it was going to be a different culture in the paddock, and he was going to be swarmed, and we were able to walk right up to his table. There wasn't a line.
No.
Like, it was just like every other P2 table. So, you know, like, do I think that Logan might be bringing more eyes to IMSA as far as, like, on social media and on TV? Yeah, but it wasn't what I think everybody expected as far as trackside.
No.
He was very much getting the same amount of attention as any other LMP2 driver. I think that Lawrence Vantor got more overall attention than Logan Sargent did.
Yeah.
You know?
Which, speaking of bracelets, it reminded me of Nasser. So Nasser I gave a bracelet to. He thanked me like 2 times for it. And then also his girlfriend ended up like posting it like on her social media, like on her Instagram. And then he posted it as well because she was wearing it for the weekend. So that was cool too. And then some other autographs, like session stories. Probably my favorite one was when we went to Wright because we had a banana plushie to give to Wright because we're in on the bit of bananas and what they mean to the Wright boys. And so Tom's at like the very end of the table and I'm like, Tom, I have something for you. And I pull out the banana plush and Elliot just like gets so overly excited and is like, how do you know about this? And then Tom said that we were like his biggest fans and like we would know. And then they were like talking about how we like knew everything as we left, but they were like all 3 of them, like even Adam, were just like so excited that we knew about this like inside joke within the team, which was funny.
And I mean, it's cool to be a fan of a smaller team, of a lesser known driver for stuff like that. I mean, like, Tom is one of our Instagram followers. Yeah. You know, of course we're going to pay attention to him. You know, same thing with PPM, but they're obviously a massive team. But it's just one of those things, like, interacting with fans causes them to be so much more passionate about drivers, about teams. Like, it's something that maybe more teams should look at doing, is being a little more fan interactive on social media. Because Wright posted the picture of Tom with the banana, and then Tom reposted it and tagged the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like Tom was just like, oh, they're clearly big fans, but like didn't know. He knew who we were enough to tag the podcast when he posted the banana.
Yeah.
So,
and enough to like I left the table, went back because they had stickers and I forgot to grab some. So I went back to grab stickers, and like Tom is like talking to Elliot and like explaining how he knew who we are, like the races of his that we've been to and everything. So like,
Yeah.
he very obviously knew, which is like not something you can say for a lot of things. So that's like cool when you follow some smaller drivers.
And then when we went to the PFAF table, we were just talking to Hinch, and I don't know if this is going to end up on Win the Weekend or what, but there was a big old boom mic moving like back and forth between when Hinch was talking and then back to us, and I'm like, you didn't even notice that, but I said afterwards, I was like, oh crap, we may end up on like on the show because there was a boom mic recording our conversation.
Which it was just me and Hinch, very much so. Once again, weather conversations, I guess, end up happening with drivers. Because Hinch is like wearing like a very thick hoodie, and it was like hot outside. And I was like, Hinch, how are you not like dying in this? Like, you're from Canada. Mainly, this conversation got started because of like being Canadian. So I was like, you should be able to like handle the cold and not need a giant hoodie. He was like, well, I'm a driver, so like the heat in this is like fine. I'm like, that makes sense, but still, dude. And then he did bring up like Canada and all of that, so that became a whole conversation too. But yeah, I definitely didn't realize we were being boom mic'd for it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So
I was gonna say, you guys failed to get into full access. Now you're gonna get into Win the Weekend.
I am really glad I didn't get it. I was so scared when they started showing qualifying. I was like, I'm going to be in this. I don't want to be in this. I hope I'm not in this. Because there were like photographers and like video camera people in there. And I was like, okay, hopefully not. Like, it's probably because they only qualified fourth that like they didn't show the garage all that much. So that was good, I suppose.
definitely.
But Tower, back to them. We went back over to their garage.
Yes.
And because the hot dog wasn't there and we really wanted to meet the hot dog. And we found out that, in fact, the hot dog had gotten stolen.
Yes.
Like, accidentally stolen, but stolen. Something about some fan that had a wiener dog and they like let the fan hold the hot dog and the fan walked off with the hot dog accidentally and brought it back.
Yeah.
But the hot dog did come back and we met it. We got to take pictures with it. It was fantastic.
Yes.
Mission accomplished.
Hardest thing to hold to take a photo, because it is in fact, if you don't know, a stapler, but they just took the stapler part out of it.
So it's hollow.
So trying to hold it was like, you just had to like crane your hand awkwardly. But yes, we did get to meet the hot dog, and there is in fact enough room for 2 hot dogs in the Tower garage. Because when we went back, the hot dog we gave them was still on the counter.
It was. And then, qualifying happened. We don't do session reviews, so we're not going to talk about that. But after qualifying, I talked with 4 drivers. Matt Campbell, Mathieu Jaminet, Tom Blomqvist, and Nick Tandy. The Nick Tandy interview was
so good.
The coolest thing, because we are in a like 200 person WEC chat. We've talked about it on here before, and at one point I was like, what should I ask Nick? What is something that you guys would like to hear an answer to? And everybody kind of agreed that they wanted to know his his opinion on the differences between the 919 and the 963. If you're unfamiliar with what that means and you're watching on YouTube, 919, 963. And that is why he is, the kind of unique one we could ask about that, right? Like, he's got a major 24-hour win in both cars, and with the same brand, obviously. So he can really speak to the differences between them, and his answers were just awesome. Matt Jam and Tom were more like our typical under a minute long ask a quick question interviews.
Not an interview, a chat.
Right, yes, actually. Matt Campbell was hilarious because I was like, hey, Matt, do you have time for like a quick interview? And he was like, an interview? And I'm like, okay, well, what if we walk and have a chat and I record it? And he just starts grinning and he's like, yeah, we can do that. So, I don't think that Matt hates me anymore, because I was a little afraid that I had greatly offended him kicking him out of my picture with Kevin and Lauren. But actually, the first thing I said to him when I saw him was, Matt, I actually want to get a picture with just you this time. And he laughed.
Yeah.
But anyways, here are those interviews. I'm here at Road Atlanta with Mathieu Jaminet. Y'all are currently leading the title battle, so how are you feeling going into the race tomorrow?
Yeah, feeling good. Obviously, we would have wished to start a little bit more up front, but yeah, it's a 10-hour race, so it doesn't mean so much. The car has been all right in long runs, and the job we've done yesterday in practice. So yeah, looking forward to the race.
Can you tell us who's taking the start?
Matt Campbell will take the start because he did qualifying. So yeah, he's our starting driver. I guess Julien will go second, and I might be third.
Awesome. Well, good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm here with Matt Campbell at Road Atlanta. How'd you feel about that qualifying, and how do you feel about the race?
Yeah, qualifying probably not what we wanted in the end. P6 probably would have liked to be a couple of positions higher, but obviously long race, and our race car, I think we proved last night in the cooler condition, it's better. So looking forward to the race, and I'm sure it's going to be a crazy day like it is every year at Steve.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Here with Tom Blomqvist at Road Atlanta, pole sitter for tomorrow's race. That was a mega lap. Can you just walk us through it?
Yeah, I love this place, especially in qualifying trim. When the car's nice and light, we take the fuel out of it and try and go as fast as we can. Yeah, the car was great. My team, my mechanics, they did a fantastic job with setting it up, and I was just able to get the job done right. So that was my job. I did it. Tomorrow is the real important stuff. So yeah, just it's something to enjoy overnight. But yeah, tomorrow we're back down to business.
How are you feeling about the race pace for the car?
Yeah, I think we're all right. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a bit closer in the race. Porsche looks extremely good. The Corvette, the Cadillacs as well. The 31 as well. They've been looking really, really good. So yeah, I'm expecting a very tough race.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
We are here at Road Atlanta with Nick Tandy, and we do have one question for you, Nick. Obviously, you have driven and won major races in the 919 and the 963. We wanted to know your comparison between the two cars.
I
know it's a big question.
There really is no comparison, because the 919 was designed in a period where development wasn't capped, let's say, where the GTP stuff, hypercar, the formula for the class of racing is totally different. So the cars look the same. They do similar lap times, but the thing with the 919 is anything that you wanted to develop or update or evolve, or any ideas you had as a driver, within reason, things could be done. where like the GTP cars homologated to a set of regs, and there's not so much you can change. So like the LMP1 cars were a lot lighter. They had bespoke tires. I mean, this is the other thing that people don't realize. Like, obviously, Michelin has to produce a tire for this class that suits every car and every manufacturer. Where back in the LMP1 days, you know, you picked your tire manufacturer, most of which were Michelin, but then you developed a tire specifically for your car, and it could be, you know, we'd spend weeks and days and weeks and months testing tires. And
So a lot more like F1 used to be.
yeah, exactly. When there was a tire war.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even the tires were so different back in the day. You know, on a single lap, the P1 car would totally outnumber the hypercar cars, but it's because there's a different set of regulations.
Right.
The thing with GTP now is the racing.
Yeah.
And that's the idea, that everyone can go racing. And the cars are built and designed around a set of regs that lets everyone go racing together. So it's like, what do you want to see? Ultimate development of cars or great racing? And honestly, you know, some people want to see different things. Probably most people want to see both, but you can't have both because the class, you know, they self-implode. So yeah, different ages, different classes.
Thank you so much. That was the coolest answer. That was awesome. Thank you, and good luck tomorrow.
And then last point for Friday. Everyone's favorite topic of Team Coke versus Team Sprite. We already gave our standings on this topic of being Team Sprite. Matt Campbell is Team Mini Coke Bottle. So there you go. That's your latest update for the great debate.
That's very specific.
He did. He had a little Coke bottle.
It was like this big. It was like a mini Coke bottle. So yes, I had to be specific because it was so small.
Yes.
But yes. And
And
then
Saturday came around, and obviously everyone's seen the race results. And if you've seen on social media, we definitely got to be a part of that. So that was really awesome.
Yeah. My boys won the championship, so that was awesome. I will say somebody needs to apparently remind Matt that he won the championship with Jam and not against Jam, because he did say in his interview that he won against his best mate, not with his best mate. So somebody needs to point that out to him. Also, we talked during CODA about Mathieu Jaminet and his hats and how he didn't have a 5 hat and wore his 6 hat like the whole weekend until the very end. This weekend, specifically on Saturday, did he lose his 6 hats again? Because he was wearing last year's 6 hats. So I think Jam just has an issue with losing his hats. But yeah, we did get to be part of the celebration with the team afterwards, which was pretty.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess one thing that we should probably mention from the race is Julian Andlauer obviously had to withdraw from his participation with car number 6. The only thing that he's said is he had back pain. On Over the Limit that came out this morning, Lawrence actually said that Julian had been dealing with nerve pain in his back all weekend and was thinking he was going to be able to kind of tough it out for the race, and then woke up Saturday morning and could not move. So the decision was made then that he was not going to race. So that's scary sounding, especially they've got another race in 3.5 weeks. Hopefully it'll be able to be worked out really quickly. And Julian will be fine.
Yes.
It sounds like he's okay overall, from what he posted online, but that is like a really scary situation to, have been picked as the guy to fill in and then have a medical emergency not let you do that.
Yeah. And obviously, we're wishing him the best with everything. Definitely something you never like to see happen.
Yeah. But so we went over to the podium celebration. So we were not back at the garage like when Matt and Jam came back with the car after the race. We wanted to see the podium, and they actually did a really cool thing this year where they had 2 little viewing areas down ground level for the podium, and we're like handing out stuff, throwing stuff into the crowd. So that was awesome. So yeah, we were not there for the initial, like, they just got back after the race podium or team celebration. But we were at the podium and the team was giving out these stickers. They do have car number 6, and if you can read it really, really, really closely, it does in fact have Kevin's name on it. So that was the first thing when I got these stickers and saw that there were 2, because there's 2 of car 7 and 2 of car 6. And the first thing I did was pull out my flashlight, my phone with my flashlight, and check whether Kevin's name was on the car. Again, like I said, he may not have been there, but he was absolutely there in spirit, at least in my mind. But yeah, after the podium ceremony and the whole like championship ceremony, all of that was done, we went back over to the garage and we did actually get to sort of celebrate with the team at the garage, which was awesome. Got to share beers.
Yes.
Got to chat with people. I don't even know how long of a conversation with Lawrence Vantor about like life.
Yeah.
like
general
it started out with me asking him like how it was driving both cars, and he was like, it was fine. It was a surprise, but it was fine. And then I was like, wanted to know, because we were talking about like how I'm not going to go to Bahrain, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm kind of considering it. And he was like, I mean, it's not the greatest like area around the track. Like the race is pretty good, but the area around the track, the whole like atmosphere of it maybe isn't like his favorite, right? And I was like,
yes.
Okay, well, in that case, like, take all the races that you did this year, and which one of like the races that he did this year would he recommend I go to next year? And he definitely said the Japanese races for sure, which like Suzuka was already a potential for me. He did say that the area around Fuji is better than the area around Suzuka, but like obviously they're not going to be in WEC next year, so it doesn't make sense to go to Fuji. I did tell him when I was like, what race internationally would you recommend I go to? It can't be that silly Zolder race you and Kevin did.
And he instantly was like, no. Like his facial expression was like, that wouldn't even be like what I would say.
I think he was a little shocked that I was aware him and Kevin did the random Zolder race in the Cup cars. Larry, you shouldn't be surprised. I follow like all of the racing that you and Kevin do. That's just a thing. But yeah, it was funny. I at one point referenced him and Kevin as being like iconic teammates, and he was like, I mean, I wouldn't say that, but if you want to say that, I'm not going to disagree with you, which I thought was funny. And this is like where he very frighteningly referred to the podcast.
Yes,
Because
I did
we were
not
talking,
like it.
and he said something, and he was like, "But you can't say that on your podcast."
Because we're like talking about the podcast with him, and then he's talking about like seeing our tweets from the podcast too, and that's how he knows like stuff. So
yeah, because I said something like, basically saying that he doesn't listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Because, some of his teammates do listen to the podcast occasionally. And he was like, "No, I don't, but I see your tweets."
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I know that he's on Twitter all the time, and we do tag him and stuff, and he name searches, and we mention his name. But it is just crazy that, he said that.
Yes. I mean, it makes sense considering everything, but I was like, I didn't need to know this. Like, that was the last bit of information I needed to know. But yeah, that was everything about Saturday. It was a whole experience. We got stuff this weekend. So I'm going to show the stuff, but then also describe the stuff so that if you don't watch the YouTube, you still kind of get an idea of everything that we got. I
actually didn't get very much at all.
Yeah, I got more stuff than probably you did. But first things first, I kind of already showed it. Tower gave us stickers. They had stickers at their table, but when we got our garage tour, they gave them to us. And the hot dog stapler did get its own sticker. So, that's pretty cool. But yeah, so we have hot dog stapler stickers now. And then I kind of went through and got pretty much, if there was a car that was Matt or Jam's car, I got it, because at this point...
You also got 2 random Kevin cars, so...
Yeah, we got those too. We'll get to those in a minute.
We didn't! You got a Kevin car that I did not get because I already have it.
Yes, and then the other one we both got, and we'll get to that one. But I got pretty much, if there was a Matt car or a Jam car, I got it because at this rate, don't know if they're going to be with the brand. Doesn't really seem like it from things that have been put out. So yeah, we're just going to go through the list. But got like a Mini 75, so the rainbow car with the red fin. And then Matt and Zach Robichon were teammates before for Le Mans, so I got their car. And then last year's 7, and then this is where, yes, I did
You got Kevin cars.
Well, it's more, for me, it's an Andre
car. That's
car.
Kevin's car. That's just Kevin's car.
It's an Andre car.
Kevin car.
Andre. But I did get last year's 6. And then the one we both got together, well, not together because we weren't together when you got yours, but we both did get them, is they had remote control 6s from last year. So, another Andre car. But...
Or Kevin car.
Couldn't turn down remote control 963. I feel like
Sebdog does not like when it makes noise.
I feel like me and you had been talking about how we wanted a remote control 963. So when there was one present, we were like...
I didn't know this existed.
Yeah, I didn't know it existed. So when I saw it, I was like, I'm getting that. So yeah, we have that now. And then another thing, when we were at the garage afterwards celebrating with the team, they gave us...
Oh yeah, I have no idea where my flag is.
Porsche flags.
None
so
whatsoever.
Those 2. So, oh, and then Nick's wearing her shirt, but we did get the Spike and Rexy Halloween shirt too. So,
yes.
Yeah. That was all the things.
We did not get the skeleton plushies because
No.
they got lost on their way to Petite, so that was very unfortunate.
Yes, it got to the point to where, like, we would go to the table to, like, check to see if they got them, and when we went to get our shirts, they were like, we don't have plushies, and we were like, we're actually just here to get a shirt. So...
Yeah. And then, obviously, this weekend brought up a lot of conversation, I'd say, online about where people could end up next year. As far as specifically the PPM drivers, for two guys that have come up completely through Porsche's ranks, prior to being signed by Porsche, doing junior series, being Porsche junior drivers, being factory drivers, moving up all the way to starting, the 963 program.
Being the first two confirmed guys for the program.
He was and has been the only one that was in the six on the IMSA side every year. Matt's obviously moved around cars on both WEC and IMSA, so I feel like he gets overlooked a little bit as being one of the original guys, but he was also one of the original people. For them to potentially be up in the air obviously made a lot of news this weekend. Neither of them officially commented on it to any outlet. Neither of them commented on it on or off the record to us. And, there's nothing to tease there. So I'm not even going to do we know something and we're not telling you, because we don't know anything, because I don't know that they know anything. They may, but it's not something they're telling anybody. So we've come up with just fun little ideas about where they could go.
We're going to start with Genesis. I, once again, am prefacing. None of these, in my opinion, are realistic, but they're all because I want my two drivers to stay together. So I'm putting Matt, Jam, and Andre in a car together. I'm basically going to make a PPM reunion car, at Genesis, which also, I guess, kind of in a way accidentally creates a GM reunion car, because Pipo and Danny are both former, well, Danny's still technically with GM right now, but Corvette and Caddy guys. So you accidentally have gotten two reunion cars in a way, with my hypothetical Genesis lineups. I think it's great.
Really don't dislike your lineups. I just wonder how that works, having would Matt or Jam not be the full season guy? And I know you said it's not logical, but one of the two of them would have to be the non-full season guy, because Andre is not being there as needed guy.
No. Which
I wish they were doing, that would be a phenomenal lineup if they were doing full season 3 drivers. Those would be amazing lineups if they were doing 3 drivers, but they're not, so I actually fully would agree with those lineups.
Yes.
But
Genesis, maybe reconsider your idea of doing 2-man and actually do 3-man.
The problem is that if they were going to do 2-man with those 6 drivers, it would have to be Matt, Jam, and either Mathis or Danny, and then Andre, Pipo, and either Mathis or Danny.
Yes.
And those lineups just aren't quite as fun. Although, if you do Matt, Jam, and Mathis, you put Matt back in his comfortable situation of having 2 people speaking French around him.
I don't know if it's a comfortable situation.
It's what he's used to now. Even with both of his replacement Kevins this weekend, he got people that speak French.
The man can't escape the French, quite frankly. So.
That reminds me, I told Julian I was calling him replacement Kevin, and he bust out laughing.
Yes.
Because, unfortunately, apparently all of PPM just know that I like Kevin, so, Larry brought Kevin up, who else brought Kevin up? And Jam brought Kevin up. Like,
yes.
Guys, could we not, like, I know that I like Kevin. I know I talk about Kevin a lot. I know I post about Kevin a lot on social media. I did not expect PPM to be knowing that I like Kevin.
Yes. And then I took it a step further because I was like, well, you guys are from the same place, so you do make a good replacement, Kevin. And he was very happy that I knew where he was from.
He was
Maybe
actually, like, really, really excited.
Yeah.
a bit of research can't make things can't hurt.
Yeah. I was like, I feel like that's not that out there to know, but okay, Julian. But yeah, that was the Genesis lineups. No way this is making sense. I did also say this is undercover Porsche. So this is Ford. And I'm taking PPM drivers and then guys that used to drive Porsches. That now drive for Ford. So you have Matt, Jam, and Dennis Olsen, who has driven with both of them before. So I didn't feel like it was that out there of a choice. And then I gave you Kevin, Larry, and Seb Priel.
Which I actually, because there have been a lot of rumors about on the IMSA side, Ford partnering with Penske for probably 2028, maybe 2029. Ford doesn't have an announced IMSA entry for the future. But obviously, Penske runs Ford cars in NASCAR.
Yes.
So that association is there. That is something that I've heard multiple times throughout the year, is that Ford would not be using Penske in WEC, at least initially, which that obviously did come to pass. Ford's running an in-house project. But that Ford is looking at Penske for the future for IMSA. So I know that, like, Matt, Jam, Kevin, and Larry are all Porsche factory drivers. They're not really Penske associated drivers. The only PPM driver that I would say is, like, potentially Penske associated is Felipe Nasser.
Yeah.
Because he has driven in the past prior to PPM for Penske in sports cars. You know, I could see him going to Ford. I think he would be probably more likely than Kevin on this list. I'm still not sure Kevin does IMSA, honestly. Like, at least not a full season thing. I think he may be doing 3 races next year as a driver. You know, he also could be in the Grello. If you want to take the person who is most synonymous with the Grello, you put Kevin Estra in that car.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Could Kevin have to do a double at 5 races this year? That would be wild.
Yes. Who knows?
Kevin, if you do that, I am so here for the Grello double situation. That would be awesome. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. And then my last one is more just Matt related. And it's
probably the most realistic.
And is probably the most realistic one.
Pulling in Andre.
He's pulling in Andre if he goes to McLaren, because he's gonna need a gap year. And I've determined gap year options, they really all revolve around the fact of McLaren being connected to United for your options. If you want to stay in WEC and IMSA, you can do GT in WEC, and you can do LMP2 in IMSA. I'm not saying he has experience in LMP2. Neither did Andre, and he did Le Mans. So, you know, you can do it too, Matt. But in IMSA. And I would be here for it, because if you don't know, if you haven't picked up on it, LMP2 is my favorite. So I would be fine with this option if I had to be okay with this option. obviously, I'd prefer that he didn't go to McLaren, but I'm trying to not be completely delusional. And yes.
Yeah, the media has made it sound like that's pretty much a done deal at this point.
Exactly.
Same thing with JM going to Genesis. They sound like done deals. The fact that there is no real rumors out there about Kevin or Larry makes me think they'll both be around next year.
Yeah. So, this was me while we were at the race, just kind of coming up with ideas of possible. Yeah, it was coping. Y'all.
Hey, at least your drivers were at the race and you got to see them.
Yes, but it's like most likely
just get to see when they posted Instagram stories of themselves, because that was the entirety of Kevin that I saw this weekend.
Yes. But I also then did have to come to terms with the fact that they're probably not going to be coming back with the same team.
Yes, but if Kevin doesn't come back with the same team, I didn't get to see him this weekend.
Yes, but I will say I wasn't the only one coming up with ideas, because I was texting one of my friends from Twitter, Maddie, who lives in Australia and is also a Matt fan, and we were coming up with ideas. We've decided, Matt, you're going back to supercars, okay? Because there's Walkinshaw and Andretti united. So yeah, we've determined you're doing supercars.
We're just having Matt retire from top level racing, because I feel like if we send him to supercars, he's not coming back.
No, yeah, this was more for reasons to drive Bathurst than anything.
Yes, but he can do the 12-hour and, like, still exist in hypercar.
Yes.
Like, there's nothing stopping McLaren from dumping him in a GT car at Bathurst.
Yes,
McLaren has GT cars. Do they have, like, an outside of Europe GT program? No. But if you're going to start an outside of Europe GT program, I feel like Matt Campbell's a pretty good option.
Yes.
Guy's a multi-time IMSA champion in multiple classes.
Yes.
He is, a legend in Australia.
Yeah.
Like,
you can say that.
He is a good one to launch an outside of Europe project, which is a big part of why I think he's going there.
Yes.
I think 100%. He gets to build two programs almost from the ground up by going there, which is a very unique situation. It's something that Andre has talked about with going to Genesis, the ability to start a brand. And yes, I know, obviously, McLaren has an existing GT program. It is minuscule compared to Porsche. So, for Matt to be able to potentially launch McLaren, like, in the top pro classes at things like the Nürburgring, at things like Bathurst 12-hour, competitive cars, that would be big.
Yes, it's 100% one of the reasons I do think this is probably happening. This was also mainly, though, Maddie is trying to convince me to go to Bathurst, because I have talked about numerous times how Bathurst is my favorite track, and how I do
Bathurst was Lawrence Vantor's number one recommendation of where to go. He threw that out of the blue because I specifically said races you did, and he did not do Bathurst this past year, so, like, I think he's still riding the high from winning it, obviously.
Yes. But
that was his number one recommendation of what race I should go to, and it is one I want to go to eventually. It's just one that is going to take probably my entire everything else I do off the table, and I'm debating doing the entire IMSA season next year, so, like, I can't also do Bathurst.
Yeah, I will say this was 100% Maddie and I coming up with ways for me to end up over there because I talk so much about how Bathurst is my favorite track and how I eventually want to go to Bathurst. She was like, this is the way. Also, then I have to go to Bathurst because Matt wouldn't be doing anything over
Yeah, I
here.
think you definitely need to wait to go to Bathurst to make sure Matt's doing it. Like, it would be the worst if you planned to go this year, and because he may not be with Porsche anymore, he's just not doing Bathurst at all. Because I do think if there's a year that he would miss it, it could be this year, because I'm not sure McLaren is going to be quite ready to give him a car to do it in February. Like, that's very early.
Yes. But
so
these were the silly plans to get me to go to Bathurst.
Yes.
It will happen eventually. I'm being real honest here.
Can't see why it wouldn't happen.
And then literally my notes for Formula One are, oh yeah, I'm going to this. I'm going to be at COTA for the Formula One race this weekend. Yeah, haven't really talked about that at all. I was saying to my dad, who I'm going with, that I'm not going to pretend that I'm friends with any of these WEC or IMSA drivers or anything, but I definitely have a cordial, relationship with them, I would say. Like, some of these drivers, like Lauren Heinrich knows me well enough to joke with me about my, Kevin stuff and to, have a conversation with me.
And
Lawrence
travel
Vantor
shame
knows
you.
we have a podcast. Yeah, and travel shame me.
Yes.
There are no Formula One drivers that could probably even say, oh yeah, I remember seeing this person before. So it's like, it's going to be weird going from the interactions I've had over the past month with drivers to the distance that Formula One has, the lack of interaction, the lack of, ability to meet drivers and see them. So I'm sure next week is going to be a whole episode of me talking about how much better everything is experientially than Formula One. So be ready for that.
Thanks for listening. You can find us on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram at Orange Flag Pod. On Twitter, Nicole is at Nicole on Racing, Austin is at Hendrik Claren, and Aries is at Aries_Alpenflow.
Stay orange.